Hey guys, Steve with you on the recipe. I want to thank everybody for joining us on Facebook. Got more and more members every day sharing all the food they love to cook instead of people that have to cook. So thank you for joining us there. Hey, today we're going to go over a really simple but very, very rustic type of salsa. It's a fire smoked salsa. Very easy, okay? So basically fire is where you take Roma tomatoes, is about 2.5 pounds. I will have the recipe posted at the end of the video so you guys can just pause it, take a picture of it, and download it. You'll be ready to go. Limes, okay, jalapenos. We're not using this many jalapenos. I just love roasted jalapenos over an oak fire. So these are extra for me. We'll probably use about 1, maybe 2. I like mine a little bit more spicy. So I'll probably have 1 jalapeno, seed the other one so I get a good jalapeno flavor without all the heat. If you like extra heat, just throw the whole things in, you're ready to go. Okay, about 1 medium rough cut diced red onion, and about 2 cups of rough cut cilantro, okay? All this stuff is gonna go in the food processor. But first, we have to take these lovely tomatoes, these jalapenos, and these limes, and get them on an oak fire, okay? You're gonna also have 1 can of petite diced for about 2.5 pounds. It's about a 28-ounce can. Kind of do the math a little bit on that, so that way you go in. If you like a wetter salsa, don't drain the juice. If you like a drier salsa, more chunky, then drain the juice out of these things. Okay, a couple little tips on this. One other thing, when we get the tomatoes on, we're gonna come back and we're gonna grill the limes first, all right? I love a grilled citrus, but I need this citrus to be able to cook these 2 items from their acid. So I'm gonna cook these guys, pull them off, let them cool, run these 3 items here, the red onion, cilantro, and lime, through the food processor first, allowing everything else to cool off and giving that about 30 minutes to cook, okay? So far so good, you with me? All right, let's get started. Let's meet you at the grill. Okay, so we're outside. Wood chips, most markets sell them, all right? My little market over here, we do an oak, those smoking chips. Love these things, they have cherry, pecan, all kinds of different flavors. But I prefer the oak. The reason I prefer the oak, it gives a nice little warmth to it. Hickory also, not hickory, but mesquite works better than hickory. So depending on what you can find, use what you got, all right? So I got a nice little blazing fire over here. I got my little Weber. Now on a Weber, if you have a gas grill, this will work as well. They usually have a little smoking box that you could put onto the side. It'll take a little bit longer, but it'll still get the same effect for you. So don't be afraid of these large flames. This is what you want to have to really kind of kiss the citrus, as we say. It's a little breezy out here today, but that'll all work. Now what I'm going to do is I want to try to blister the jalapenos and get a nice little golden touch on the what we're looking for right there. A little bit more. That citrus starts to cook up a little bit and adds this extra layer into the depth of your sauce. Whether you're making margaritas, whatever you're doing, it's this great little kick that your friends are gonna go, what'd you do? And you're just gonna keep a little secret. No one else know but you and me, okay? All right, so I'm gonna take these guys. So that's what I'm looking for right there. I'm gonna move them off to the cool side of the grill right now. Bum, 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 bum. All right. Get these jalapenos back in action over here, get them hot. The whole idea with this recipe is that I'm going to give you the very basics to what needs to have happen, and you adjust it to your own flavor. All right, so these guys have got nice little marks on them. I'll probably let them go a little bit longer just to kind of get them a nice little charge, but I'm going to leave these guys on the grill with the tomatoes because that way they get a nice little smokiness to them as well. Anyways, Roma tomatoes, about 2.5 pounds, okay? Put them over the hottest part of the fire, and we want to blister these. Blistering basically is getting them blackened on both sides so the skin starts to blister, okay? The more tomatoes you're going to use, the bigger the fire, the larger the fire area you're going to have. During the summertime, I'll probably make about a 5-pound to 6-pound batch of tomatoes. This is just about a 2.5 pound batch of tomatoes. And we're going to let these guys rock and roll for a little bit. While that's going on, I'm going to take my limes off so I can take those inside. Let them cool off a little bit. Just about there. Now, you see how the skin is blistering? That's what we're looking for. But the finishing piece to this is going to be allowing these guys to get off the fire over with the jalapenos and let them smoke. Just because they're fire roasted, it's going to give you a nice flavor to it. If you do tomato sauces, this is also a great way to give your tomato sauce a little bit more depth. I've taken this salsa before and hit it with a little bit of heavy cream at the end of it for maybe doing chicken or doing it over the top of salmon, doing something a little bit of a Spanish type of a flair on food. So it's great. These guys are just about ready, but this is what we're looking for. Let me see, let's pull this guy out the fire. It's got a nice darkiness to it. The skin isn't quite broken through yet, but it's cooked and blistered on both sides. And we do want to get that little dark flavor on that skin, because that way when it hits, whoo, it's getting a little warm here, boys and girls. Use it with a pair of long tongs. I can't tell you how much hair I've lost off my hands. The view over here. Alright, so that looks good. View looks good. Bam, bam, bam. See, and that's what we're looking for. That nice dark skin on that. Perfect. Now if you notice, I'm stacking all these tomatoes on this end of the smoker, okay? The reason behind that is that when I flip this thing so the wind's pulling it from the other side, these guys are going to catch the cool smoke of it and not get right over the fire and catch hot smoke, which will just, you know, it won't hurt them, but it'll make them cook a little bit different. All right, I'm going to open that trap up, sit, put another good handful of wood chips on this. These bags of wood chips are worth about $1.99. You don't have to worry or fret too much about it. All right, so a trick on keeping a constant temperature. Firebox is on this side, the wind's coming out of this side, okay? So I'm gonna spin this like that. Fire's on this side now, tomatoes on this side. I'm gonna crack it just about that much, okay? The wind's coming in from this side, from the air is blowing, from the breeze. It's circulating over that, and it's going to kick the smoke over on this side. That way it's going to really smoke these tomatoes a lot faster. I've never used the top damper on this thing for anything because it lets all the heat out. I don't want to let the heat out. I want to trap the heat and trap the smoke, so it's a constant temperature for smoking and cooking. Just a tip if you're doing chickens, if you're doing anything else like that, forget about this thing. It's absolutely worthless, okay? All right, so these guys are going to sit on the smoker for about 30 minutes. I'm not going to keep you around that long, but when we come back, we'll be back in the kitchen. I'm going to show you how all this stuff works out, okay? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so tomatoes went to about 45 minutes, but this is the kind of color you're looking for. All right, this is a smoked tomato. This is great in salsa. This is great in marinaras. It's good all the way around if you want to add a little depth or texture. All I'm going to do is I'm going to put these little guys, I'm getting everything else, in with that can of diced tomatoes I had earlier, okay? Give them a chance to cool off. I'm going to squish them up a little bit with the other guys just to kind of mix that flavor in with the canned diced tomatoes a little bit. And it also makes it easier to put through the food processor, so that way it doesn't blow up. All right, so those guys are playing. I'm going to put those right over here for right now. Done with that. Now, the cilantro, we had about 2 cups and one medium onion we had diced up, already started that. The limes we got right there, just a little bit of a golden, kind of get that nice little citrus going into them. Squeeze them out. Remember, if you watched one of my videos, it talked about picking out the right lime and the right lemons for when you're at the market. A smooth skin lime, one without any dimples on it, is going to give you more juice. All right, even though that bigger lemon has got dimples on it, I mean that bigger lime, it's got dimples on it, it's not going to give you as much juice. So always look for a smooth skin lime, okay? So, number 1, I'm going to pulse this a couple times. It depends on the texture you like to have. If you like it a little more chunky, don't beat it to death. If you like it more smooth, good. I do like mine a little bit more chunky. Okay, put that in there. And then I'm just gonna hit the same thing. I'm gonna drop the jalapeno in the bottom of it first, and then put the tomatoes on top. It's gonna take a couple batches, all right? So don't try to force everything into it, because if you do that, it's not gonna give you a great consistency. Now, here are the jalapenos we smoked, kind of grilled. They got a beautiful flavor to them, got a great aroma. So I like mine about a medium, all right? So what I did is I split one of these jalapenos open, I'm gonna stick the back of my knife and then scrape the seeds out of it. The seeds is part of the acid, and that's the majority of the stuff that is actually gonna make the salsa hotter. So being a medium, I'm gonna take one jalapeno seeded, I'm gonna use one jalapeno whole. Think about that. So if you want a mild, take 2 jalapenos, seed them both. If you want it hot, put 2 with the seeds in it, 3, depends if you like to get a little crispy, all right? So I got the jalapeno in there, I'm gonna grab a ladle. I'm just gonna take it, drop these guys into there. Still a little smoky, that will be okay. Not quite there. And about halfway, because once you really start, this thing starts to beat up, it'll blow up a little bit. Put that guy into there real quick. Get ready for the next batch. Jalapeno. My special little friend. Now, the food processor is going to do most of the work, so you don't have to fine dice it. I mean, it's like what's a rough cut? That's basically a rough cut. Okay? Toss the tomato back in there. Again, that's for about 2.5 pounds of tomato. It's a 28-ounce can, one of the large cans. You can use a petite dice, which I like to use, or you can use just regular dice. Alright, we're done, guys. Now, mixing this up is really pretty easy, okay? So I'm going to bring this over here. Slide my kosher salt over here, I'm going to slide my pepper over here, and we're just going to give it a nice little mix. Remember, if you like more cilantro, add more cilantro. If you like more, not red onion, I like red onion just due to the fact that it gives a little bit more pepper flavor, which is really, really great, okay? Now, tomatoes are going to add, or absorb, let me put that, a lot of salt, okay? So when you're seasoning this, be gentle and be timely. And I say that like this, is I kosher salt's a little bit firmer. I'm going to put a good pinch into that. I'm going to let that sit for a little bit, and I'm going to taste it again in about 5 minutes. I love using fresh cracked black. If you don't have it, use a coarse black pepper, okay? Don't be scared. Salt and pepper is a flavor of the world. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to mix it up a little bit, okay? And that's about it. I'm going to let it rest for just a little while longer. Come here and take a look at this. So I'm going to let this rest for just a little bit longer before I add any more salt. But I like a chunky style, a little bit of more of a lime bite to it, and a little bit more cilantro. If you don't like that cilantro, remember, you own the recipe, okay? So I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, and then I'm going to probably finish seasoning it with a little bit more salt maybe. I don't know. I can put this into a little Tupperware container, put it in the fridge. It's going to last for 2 weeks. During the summertime, we have a habit about making about 1.5 gallons batch, which is a lot of fun, but it only lasts us 2 weeks. We like our salsa. So I also said in the beginning of the video that you can hit this after it sets up. If you're going to do a grilled chicken, you want a little bit of like a Mexican theme to it, you can put this in a saucepan and heat it by itself. You can put a little bit of heavy cream in a pan, heat that up, and then add the salsa to that, get like a creamy salsa verde type of thing. It's fantastic, okay? So this is a lot of flexibility for you to play with, all right? That's pretty much it, guys. Play with your food. Please join us on Facebook at You Own the Recipe. Thank you for joining us today. I hope we learned a little bit of something, and if you want to learn a little bit else, check out my other videos at You Own the Recipe on YouTube. Till then, hope to catch you on Facebook at You Own the Recipe. Steve out.